cue the intro. Hey, I'm Sarah, and I'm excited to share my adventures with you this week. So buckle up, because I am taking you to Miami because I spent the week interning at the StrongFit Seminar and Coaches Week. And then I am taking you to Montreal. It's raining cats and dogs and little billy goats. Gregor is taste testing the 9-hour cookie.
Delicious.
Worth all 9 hours?
Was waiting for a year.
I've been doing StrongFit since January 2016, and I became part of Julian's StrongFit mentorship program in August of 2017. I joined StrongFit because I wanted to move safer and better so that I could overcome aches and pains and get stronger and become more capable. The audio was terrible, but what Julian was saying is that there are only two states, internal or external torque, and he's using the pec stick to engage his pecs to facilitate internal torque. There are two things that significantly improved my quality of life, and I wish I had done these things years ago. 1, LASIK vision correction. 2, learning how to hinge. Good quality movement hinges upon your ability to, well, hinge. In fact, when I learned how to hinge, my knee pain went away, my back pain went away, and I suddenly became a lot stronger. Coach Richard asked me if I would demonstrate the hinge, which made me feel special, because you're only asked to demonstrate the hinge if you are competent at hinging. So that was their indirect way of letting me know that I'm competent at hinging. It took me 14 months to learn how to properly hinge. This is a really big freaking deal. Most people struggle to learn how to hinge. We all tend to compensate by extending at the lumbar spine. So we're actually using our low back muscles to lift objects up off the floor. And the low back muscles weren't built to do that, hence low back pain. The secret to hinging properly is using the correct muscles, the internal torque chain, notably the external obliques, which frees your lumbar spine so you can't extend it, as well as your glute max and inner hamstrings.
The hip actually starts to rotate. As she comes up, come up slowly. You guys see how the hips actually move, right?
So now you know why it took me 14 months to learn how to hinge, because, well, those muscles were really weak on me. So it took me time to strengthen them so that supposed to do. I want to show you one of my tricks for teaching the hinge. What I find helpful is to imagine my pelvis is a bucket of water. When you come back up, you want to think of tipping the bucket so that all the water pours out the back. It's good, it's good, it's good. That could be better. Let me redeem myself.
Especially with bloody or black stools.
What are we listening to? Bloody or black stools. Oh, that's delicious. That's worth all 1,570 calories. 1,580. I have come a long way since 2016. I didn't have an athletic background, and I was not an experienced CrossFitter. So I was literally starting from 0, maybe even like from -10 because of all the imbalances I had. So I lacked a lot of confidence when I first started, and I felt very embarrassed because I was surrounded by so many competent athletes. That's what motivated me to create my online strength academy in January of 2018, because I know what it feels like to be a newbie, to have no clue what you're doing, and to feel broken. I wanted to be able to teach women how to learn StrongFit and how to move better and safer in the comfort and privacy of their own home. I know how important it is to have a safe environment when you feel like the chips are down. So 4 of my Strength Academy members attended the Miami seminar, and I'm so proud of them. I'm proud of them because they were willing to step outside of their comfort zone. That's the only way to grow. I had to say the highlight of my entire month was meeting my Strength Academy members and seeing them flourish at the seminar. You know, they walked into the seminar looking absolutely terrified, but they walked out completely and forever changed. It was really exhilarating watching their confidence grow throughout the course of the weekend. Team SS kicks ass.
We were doing a sled sprint. I had never done one before, and it was brutal. And Sarah was there next to me, coaching me the whole time. And it was just, I feel like I might not have been able to finish if she wouldn't have been next to me. It was one of the best experiences of my life, connecting the dots from what I've already learned through Sarah's group, and then hands-on with the creators and the coaches. And it was just a great experience altogether.
For the most part, it is about 99% exhaling. Mental stress, physical stress, heart rate. I'm gonna take the rack off. I'll take an inhale through my mouth. As I go down and up, it'll be a slow exhale to a yell or a grunt at the back of the throat, right? So, sa, 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 sa,
Was that salsa, really?
salsa.
Can you show me how it's salsa?
I cannot show you how to salsa. I need tequila to salsa. Get angry.
Kids are dying.
There we go. Yeah. Yes, I do. No fucking way, dude. Yeah, once. There's no fucking way, dude. Fucking hey, that hurts.
3, 2, 1, smile.
Being able to interact with and learn from Julian, Richard, and the other StrongFit interns is not something that I take for granted. Teaching is my passion, so I want to thank the StrongFit attendees for letting me be a part of their learning experience. When I attend these events, excuse you, I am always listening, observing, implementing, videoing, asking questions, and then taking the time to self-reflect. Self-reflection, that's like looking into a mirror and describing what you see. That's why I video everything I do, because it provides me with an objective perspective. It's about questioning, but in a positive way, what I do and why I do it, and deciding if there's a better way I could do it in the future. That's how I grow and learn. It's how I overcome plateaus, boredom, and stagnation. Self-reflection is not about focusing solely on the negative. It's also an opportunity to recognize and acknowledge what I do well and the progress that I have made. For me, I've had to learn how to redefine the definition of progress. And progress isn't always something stellar. Sometimes it can seem very anticlimactic. However, it's still progress. Sometimes I call it slowgress. Progress, but only slower. Owning up to what needs work, that's not always easy. It demands a lot of self-awareness and honesty. Oftentimes, I get frustrated because I know it's going to take a very long time for me to improve. Sometimes I'm just not ready to do what it takes because I'm not ready to exit my comfort zone. It really helps me to surround myself with people who keep me on my toes and who light a firecracker under my ass.
Kids are dying.
And who don't tolerate my BS. There may be some BS. All of us are on our own individual paths of improvement. And guess what? None of us will ever reach the end of that path because there is no end. I believe that self-reflection is a cyclical process. So, do you self-reflect? How has it helped you? I was invited to speak at the Canadian Association of Oral and Maxillofacial Surgeons. I taught dentists how to apply the principles of StrongFit to dentistry. So here we go. Why don't we decrease stress in our lives? Good luck with that. You think that's going to happen? No. And that's exactly what physiotherapy and chiropractic treatments are. They temporarily decrease the tension on the side of the arch, whether that's through TENS, a massage, but it's making your arch smaller overall, which is not the goal. You don't want a smaller arch. You want to be a better functioning human being with a bigger arch. There's too much tension on one side of the arch, you need to match that by increasing tension on the other side. So that means, in conclusion, we need to get better at fighting stress. Oh, look who I have here from Team SS, Chaussee. So this is what I noticed. When I exhaled through the straw, I was able to get better tension in my internal torque chain. So that's why my handstands are completely still in space during the exhalation. You're in for a treat. I asked a breathing expert to explain to us what's up with the straw. So without further ado, Casper.
So why would anybody want to breathe through a straw? It's a really simple, basic, and commonly used way to improve your breathing pattern. So the first thing to understand is that breathing through a straw will limit the amount of airflow through your mouth. And your mouth is not really the thing that's made for breathing, right? So you have your nose, which is made for breathing, and your mouth, which is made for eating. But if you do breathe through your mouth and you use a straw, you have a few benefits. First of all, if you nose breathe and you do it properly, you're using your diaphragm, which is the only breathing muscle you actually have. And you have this thoracic cage and all the other muscles, kind of accessory muscles for breathing, but the main thing you want to use for breathing is your diaphragm. Now, if you breathe through your nose, which is basically two straws that go into your face, you will automatically have better access to your diaphragm. Now, as an athlete, sometimes you have to switch to mouth breathing. And if you do mouth breathe, the best way to do it is with the diaphragm. But it's actually difficult to activate the diaphragm if you breathe through your mouth. So then if you restrict airflow through your mouth with a straw, and this is just a normal like fast food straw, and I cut a piece off of it, just so it's not as inconvenient, right? So this is just for convenience. You put it in there, and suddenly you have restricted airflow, which means that you have to get better at using that one breath that you're exhaling. So your exhale will become longer, it will become more controlled, and you will have more access to your diaphragm, and the exhale actually stimulates the vagus nerve. So now you get to breathe through the mouth with the diaphragm, having more stimulation of the parasympathetic system and more diaphragm control. And because of the long exhale, you're increasing the amount of CO2 during the exhale. Now you exhale CO2, so the exhale is supposed to decrease CO2, right? But because it's so slow, you're building it up and you're actually improving your CO2 tolerance. And the great thing is, you've probably seen these elevation masks, these really expensive tools that restrict your breathing, and like all these lung trainers that are fancy and expensive and not that effective, especially not for altitude training. The straw will work fine for that, actually. It's a good replacement. Except it's kind of like you don't want to gasp for air and accidentally inhale the entire straw. That would be a bad idea, right? So in general, breathe through your nose because it's two amazing straws and it improves nitric oxide and all that cool stuff. But if you want to improve your ability to diaphragm breathe, to stimulate the vagus nerve while mouth breathing, the straw is an amazing tool.
I'm going to share my StrongFit homework with you. You can let me know if I did it right. So I was to take a CrossFit workout and apply the principles of StrongFit to it so that it could be incorporated into a phylogenetic hierarchy workout. I chose Cindy because that's my sister's name, so good reason. First I tried Cindy as prescribed by CrossFit. Then I modified it by using the sandbag and pec stick to facilitate muscle failure. And the pec stick and sandbag really helped me reach muscle failure. My pecs were on fire, and so are my inner hams. I didn't even worry about counting how many rounds I did. Instead, I prioritized being in the correct state by focusing on my breathing and my internal torque chain. I was able to maintain a nice flow without taking big breaks between rounds. What is this, like 15 minutes long now? Okay, I'm gonna stop here. So ask me your questions in the comments below. It could be about intermittent fasting, about fixing imbalances, StrongFit, and I'll answer them in the next vlog. So be sure to subscribe, and bye.
Kids are dying.